What's up, guys? We're back with another 30 and 30, my version. So last video we covered 5 teams, finished off with the Calgary Flames. So today we're going to start off with the Carolina Hurricanes. If you didn't check out the other video, please check it out, give it a look. I'm covering all 30 teams in the NHL before the season starts. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the Carolina Hurricanes. So, first and foremost for the Carolina Hurricanes, I would like to go over some underrated moves. First and foremost, the Lee Stempniak and Victor Stolberg signings. I think those are two really good signings. Lee Stempniak has a good history of producing in small hockey markets. Last year with the Devils, before he got traded to Boston, was doing very well. I think he had like 50-something points, but I could be wrong. I think that's an awesome signing. And it's a 2-year cap-friendly contract. $2.5 million a year, which is good for Stempniak. The guy can do a lot. He's quick, gritty, scores. He's a good player. Kills penalties. Good veteran to have. It shows he's a player that if Carolina does good, he's going to have a lot of spotlight around him. But if Carolina doesn't do so good, he's going to get you like a second or a third round pick at the trade deadline, if they want to go that route, of course. So that's one of my favorite signings of the summer. I really like that signing for Carolina. I don't like it for the Rangers because now we got to see Lee Stempniak more, who seems to kick the shit out of us every time he plays us. So, now moving on, Victor Stolberg. It irks me that the Rangers let him go, but I guess the Rangers are going in a different direction. Stolberg he's the perfect power forward to have on your team. He's going to get you 20 to 30 points. He's fast. He hits. He kills penalties. I think he's 6'3", 212, maybe a little heavier than that. And he's really, really quick, you know. He's an excellent penalty killer. He's got decent hands. He really is one of the few players in the league that are very, very well rounded. There's not one thing that he's awful at. Stolberg can really do a lot and help out the Carolina Hurricanes. I think you guys are really going to like him in Carolina. And I think he'll do good in a small market. He did good with the Rangers in a big market. Maybe a small market player. Who knows? He also could just be a big market player, and that's why he had so much success. But I could be wrong. I think Stolberg's going to do very well with Carolina, especially if he's playing with Lee Stempniak. It'll be fun to watch for you guys. And also, you know, if Carolina does good, he'll be a player that's highlighted, get a great contract the next year, or trade him at the deadline, get a pick or two out of him. Now, the big trade for the Hurricanes was when they acquired, now bear with me here, Toivo Teravainen and Brian Bickle in exchange for a second-round pick and whatever else it was. This was purely a cap-space move for the Chicago Blackhawks. But it's a great deal for the Carolina Hurricanes. What do you have to lose? You get 1 year of Brian Bickle's contract, which isn't even a problem because Brian Bickle's not a bad hockey player. Brian Bickle's problem was he did very well in the playoffs for Chicago. He got that contract, and Chicago is a cap-strapped team, so they couldn't afford that contract. So the pressure's on. It's like, oh man, I do good in the playoffs, not really a regular season player. They're giving him money for a guy that should be scoring 20 goals, between 40 and 50 points, for a guy that's really in the regular season capable of 20 points, maybe 10 goals on a good year. You know, it's not like it's not a contract they should have gave Brian Bickle in the first place, especially for a guy that was just good in the playoffs. But it worked out well for Carolina, I'll tell you that much. Toivo Teravainen is going to fit in nice in their top 6. Kid's only, 22 years old? He's going to be perfect. Perfect for them. I think he's a long-term fit with them. And you never know, he might make a player like Jeff Skinner expendable if Skinner doesn't have a good year. So yeah, if Skinner doesn't have a good year, then Teravainen definitely makes him expendable. Moving on from that, the Cam Ward or Eddie Lack starting goalie situation. I see people talking about this. Who should start? I still think Cam Ward should be the starter. That shouldn't even be an argument. He took a nice contract this year for him. He's going to be left in the expansion draft unprotected, so you might as well give him another shot. And then the last question, who's going to be the captain of the Carolina Hurricanes? My candidates are Justin Falk and Jordan Staal. Justin Falk. I would give it a Falk, not Jordan Soule, because I feel like Jordan Soule's going to get traded this year. The only reason he was in Carolina and he signed that long-term contract was to be with Eric, and now he doesn't have that, so I can see him getting traded or requesting a trade. Give the C to Justin Falk. The kid earned it. The kid's going to be really good. All right, so that covers the Carolina Hurricanes. Moving on now to the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh, also, totally forgot. Carolina Hurricanes, I'm going to say no playoffs for them this year. Definitely going to say no playoffs. So, moving on. Chicago Blackhawks. Key additions. Even though there weren't really additions, they're just kind of prospects coming up. Schmaltz, Mott, Heinestraza. These kids got to produce big time this year, especially if Chicago wants to compete. Vili Paka also, Poka. Those four guys, Poka, Mott, Schmaltz, Heinestraza, have got to play like NHLers. They gotta be quick, gotta be smart, and they've got to make the team if Chicago wants to win, because they're relying on these kids. Because, like I said, Chicago's a cap-strapped team. They had to move Teravainen because Bickle's contract was so bad, and they can't afford anything. So they're gonna be relying on these kids to do good, and they're gonna have to. So the question is, are they ready? I'd like to think so, but we'll see. Just going over the Blackhawks, their defense always solid. I don't know why people don't like Brent Seabrook. I think he's a great defenseman for them. I don't want to hear crap about the contract. Well, they'll get to that when that comes. Marian Hossa, is his age finally catching up to him? 2 years ago, he separated from a 29, 30 goal season. Last year, not so hot. This year, I don't know. He says he wants to play out the remainder of his contract, but is his age going to let him do that? He didn't look so great last year, guys, to be completely honest with you. I think he'll be alright. I don't think he's going to have a comeback year. I think he's now going to be consistently putting up point totals between 30 and 50. I don't see him going over 50 anymore in point totals. Also, of course, he has a great year and he proves everyone wrong, which I would like to happen because I do like Marian Hossa as a player. I like him very much. And then the final question for the Chicago Blackhawks, can Kane repeat that 100-point campaign? Can he do it again? I believe he can, but it all depends on his psychological state and his line mates. Because Patrick Kane went into that year with a little fire under his ass, the whole scandal that happened. I'm not going to get into that. And he scored 100 points with Artem Anisimov at center. Artemi Panarin's a good win, but Anisimov isn't really a point producer. We'll see. Maybe Artem Anisimov gets good this year too. Or better, rather. I think Kane can do it. I think he can put up another 100 points. It's very rare nowadays. People even score 40 goals. You know, to have a player that's able to score 40 plus and 100 plus, it's impressive. Not even Crosby did that, I don't think. Yeah, Crosby did do that last year. Yeah, alright, it was just Kane. I think he's more than capable of doing it. I hope he does it. It's awesome to have that. And then, where do I see Chicago finishing this year? Obviously, this has nothing to do with the team. It's just a fact, you know, Chicago Blackhawks, you never count them out. I'm going to list them as a cup contender just because of who they are as a team. Moving on now, you got the Colorado Avalanche coming up. So, with the Avalanche, this is a very hard team to talk about because they're all over the place. They have a great chance of being a second, third round team, but they also have a great chance of being a draft lottery team because it's weird. They had that one great season, Nathan MacKinnon's rookie year, and then they just hit the ground. Totally deflated. I don't know what they're going to do. First and foremost, the McKinnon contract. The McKinnon contract wasn't that bad. I like the McKinnon contract for now. He just got to live up to it. Secondly, Jarome Iginla. They got to trade this guy. Why he signed in Colorado to begin with, leaving Boston, not going to like a real cup contender, not a one-and-done team. I'll never understand that. That's not even a rip on the Colorado Avalanche because I happen to like the Avalanche and like their players. I just don't see from Jarome Iginla's standpoint what the point of going to Colorado was. At his age, you kind of want like a guarantee team, a team like Chicago or LA or a team like that. A team like you can almost guarantee you'll be the top every single year, and then he goes to Colorado. It was a little odd. It was a little odd for Colorado too, because Iginla never really fit them as a team. Fit the team because Colorado was trying to go for that quick team, and Iginla's an older guy. You know, he's not quick. Never really was. Good goal scorer, but that really was. I personally love Drew McGinley. I just don't see him fitting in Colorado anymore, especially after a disappointing last season. To assess their forward core, I want to say their forward core is hit or miss. There's a good chance their forward core is going to be top 10, but also bottom. It all depends on, how the kids play. Mikko Rantanen's got to play good if he makes a team. I don't know. I can't even put a label on how their forward core do, because Nathan McKinnon has all the tools to be a point-per-game player. Duchene's got all the tools to be a 30-goal scorer. Landeskog's got all the tools to be a 60, 70-point scorer, but will they be able to do it is the biggest question. I love their defense. They got a really good mix on defense. Patrick Weirkosh is a good signing for them. Semyon Varlamov has got to stay consistent. This guy's got to wake up, because he's having a lot of problems lately. The past couple seasons with, seems like, confidence maybe. I thought Patrick Waugh would be good for him. Apparently not. Patrick Waugh's gone now. But Varlamov's got to play good. Otherwise, they're screwed. Will Mikko Rantanen make the team? I think so. I think he's got a really good chance of making the team. And my final assessment of Colorado Avalanche, they are listed as a playoff hopeful in my book. Meaning that, it's not a disappointment if they don't make the playoffs. It's just they hope they can. I think they could. But, a lot of things have to go right. A lot of players got to play good that are usually inconsistent. So we'll see. Moving on now to the Columbus Blue Jackets. CBJ. Now, where do you start? I'm going to start with their forward core. I really, really like the Columbus forward core. I think it got better in the offseason. I think people are too quick to judge Scott Hartnell. I think he's a good player still. I think he's still capable of 25-plus goals. No matter, and it doesn't even matter. They don't have to be pretty goals. Scott Hartnell's the guy that's going to bang in those gritty rebounds and stuff like that. I love Scotty Hartnell as a player. I think he's fun. I don't think Columbus has to worry about that. Sam Gagner was an excellent addition. This guy, you know what? He did good with Arizona. Very good. I don't know. Philadelphia wasn't really a team for him because Gagner's finesse. Philly's gritty. I think Gagner is going to do good in Columbus. I think he's going to do really good, especially if he's put on a good line. I think Gagner and Cam Atkinson would be a nice line. Actually, speaking of Cam Atkinson, that leads to my next question. Will Cam Atkinson be a 35-plus goal scorer? Now, I say 35-plus for a reason. I think Atkinson has all the makings of being a 35-plus goal scorer. I honestly think he does. He had a very good last season. The guy can score. He's fast. He's got good hands, good shot. He has the tools. Does he have the teammates? And does he have the poise to be able to? We'll see. I think he does. I think it would be very awesome to see him at 35-plus goal scorer. I think he can do it. Nick Foligno, the captain. People are saying he's an awful captain, that he's no good, he's not a good player. I think it's a crock of crap. I honestly think I'm calling this year is going to be his bounce-back year. He's going to have a good season this year. No ifs, ands, or buts. Is he going to score 30 goals and have a 70-plus point season again? Probably not. I'm going to say 50 points, anywhere between 15 and 25 goals. Now to look at Columbus' defense. Their defense is definitely hit or miss. Seth Jones got to take over this year. Got to prove he's a number one. Jack Johnson's got to bounce back. Ryan Murray, he's got to start living up to that third overall pick potential. And my final assessment of Columbus, playoff hopeful. Definitely a playoff hopeful in this team. They can make it, but will they? All right, so we've covered Carolina, Chicago, and now Columbus. Moving on to the Dallas Stars. Seems like everybody's favorite team. Definitely the front runner team. People want to root for them. Score a lot of goals. Who wouldn't want to root for a team like that? So, first and foremost, Patrick Sharp and Jason Spezza. Will they be able to recreate what they did last year? Spezza scored 30 goals last year, guys. That was pretty damn good. I think Patrick Sharp and Jason Spezza are both going to have good years. I don't think age is going to show for them just yet. I think they're going to have good years. I have good confidence in them. Especially Patrick Sharp. I think Sharp only started to show what he could really, really do for the Dallas Stars. And I think next year he's really going to blow up. Especially, I think Jason Spezza too. I think he's going to have another great year. I think he's going to, maybe not 30 goals, but I can tell you he's going to score between 60 and 75 points. Definitely, especially with that forward core they have. Oh, yeah. Next question. Tyler Seguin's health. Is this guy going to be able to stay healthy for a full year? I got to hope so. I mean, Seguin's another player. He's got all the makings to be an 80-plus point player, but keeps getting hurt, it's not going to be possible. A lot of guys lost faith in this player. I haven't. I tend to like him as a player. I'd like to see him on a line with Jason Spezza. They played well together in Ottawa. Alesh Hemsky. I like Hemsky. I think he's got a chance to bounce back and wake up, but I don't think he will. That signing with Dallas hasn't worked out for Hemsky so far. Even though he is a Dallas player, he's got speed, good hands, good offensive skills. Just hasn't put it together yet. I think Hemsky could have a bounce back year, but I don't think he's going to. So, yeah, I wouldn't bet on him, unfortunately. Take a look at some of their off-season additions. Yuri Hoodler and Dan Hamhuis. Hamhuis is an awesome signing. Dallas needs to fix up their defense, and Hamhuis is definitely a good start. And Yuri Hoodler, what an underrated signing, man. This guy is only 2 seasons separated from, I think, point-per-game status he was at. He's going to go to Dallas, and he's going to tear it up, because that's the kind of team that Dallas is. They're going to take guys like that are separated from, just came off a poor season, and they're just going to tear it up. Ray Whitney's the perfect player to compare to Yuri Hoodler, because Ray Whitney didn't do so hot, went to Dallas, had a 77-point season, left, didn't do so hot. So, just telling you right now, Hoodler is going to have a good season. Their defense, much better than it was last year. Much, much better. Regardless of the fact that they lost Russell and, what was the other guy's name? Demers. They're fine. I think their defense is better. The young guys got a little bit older. Final question, goaltending situation. I think they got to trade Kari Lehtinen, give Niemi a shot. It doesn't work out. You got to bring somebody in. Maybe Varlamov becomes available because Colorado wants a little shake-up. You have a guy like him, maybe Jimmy Howard. But the goalie situation is the only thing that made this my answer to what Dallas is going to be next year hard to answer. Because I'm listing them, Dallas Stars, as a cup contender. But with their goaltending situation, I don't know what to put them at. Because, I don't know, we'll see. I'm still going to leave them as a cup contender. What do you guys think about that one? But they got to figure out that goalie situation, man. It is not getting any better back there. It is ugly. All right, the final team we will be covering, the Detroit Red Wings. So, starting off, Franz Nielsen, Thomas Vanek, good signings. Vanek, I don't like as a player. I think he's lazy, but I think he could do well in Detroit if motivated. Franz Nielsen, good center. The term, like how long they signed Nielsen, I don't agree with. The money was good, though. Johan Franzen, is he going to be able to be healthy? And how steep is his decline, man? He's getting worse and worse by the day. I don't think he fits with Detroit anymore. I think he's too slow. That power forward style doesn't fit with Detroit anymore. They need to be quick and skilled. Their defense, definitely hit or miss. Detroit's defense can go either way. They can either have a good year or a bad year. They got a lot of bad contracts on that D. I don't know about the Danny DeKeyser contract yet. I haven't really explored Danny DeKeyser as a player that much, so I don't know enough about him to tell you whether or not that contract was good. From an outside perspective, it doesn't seem that great, but I'm sure it is, especially since they gave him that money. Mike Green has got to have a good year, or that signing's really going to bite him in the ass, because that was supposed to be a big deal for Detroit, signing Mike Green. And so far, it really hasn't been that big of a deal, because Mike Green hasn't shown anybody anything. The guy had a 30-goal season with Washington not a few years back, almost half a decade ago, if not over that now. And he's really been looking like crap ever since. Listen to Don Cherry if you want to know the truth about Mike Green. Detroit has got to put their foot down here. Peter Mrazek is a starter. Trade Jimmy Howard. This poor Howard, man, he's just going to sit there and rot, not doing anything. He could still be a starting goalie elsewhere. Mrazek's your starter. We get it. You got to trade Howard. You got no money, Detroit. Retain salary if you have to, but you got to get rid of Howard because he's doing nothing but eating out cap space, and you're wasting his talent and time. Yeah. Detroit's only key loss this year was Datsuk. So I'm not going to say they really lost much, even though Datsuk obviously a phenomenal player. But with his age, would he even be that great of a player this year in the NHL? You know, he did see a bit of a decline. And now, I want to hear feedback on this one too. I have Detroit, as of right now, with their defensive core, the way it is, I have them listed as a playoff hopeful. Meaning, I'm not going to guarantee them a playoff spot this year. This is the one time I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you Detroit's going to make it. Now, I'm sure they are, but it's their defense and goalie that's going to kill it, because having Jimmy Howard there, it's putting pressure on Mrazek, knowing that his job may or may not be safe. Too much money taken up. It could be going elsewhere, like into the defense. I don't think they have a single righty, if not maybe a righty or two, on their forward core. Their forward core is all lefties. They got to get some righties in there, especially on their defense. I saw suggestions, maybe get Jacob Trouba on Detroit's defense. I think that would be perfect if they can get Jacob Trouba. But yeah, I don't know. Detroit's, I'm going to list them as a hopeful. They can go either way. I hope they make the playoffs. Got to keep that streak going, man. Detroit's a good team. I like watching them. I don't like playing them. I like watching them. So, thank you everybody for watching. If you didn't check out the most previous video, be sure to check it out. Leave a like, leave a comment. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your opinions. So, until the next time, peace.